Welcome back to Sportsline, everybody. Right now, we hear more from Matt Duchene, his teleconference today after signing with the Predators on the first day of NHL free agency.
Matt, this is Craig Tuffman, The Athletic. You mentioned it's been a 3-year process for you. Now that it's concluded, what's that been like for you personally? I mean, going to Ottawa, going to Columbus, the trade rumors, the free agency rumors. What kind of emotional tax did that take on you?
I mean, it's been a crazy 3 years. I think, luckily when I was in Ottawa, and despite some of the stuff that, the 1 year there, the year I got traded, we were supposed to be a really good team and didn't turn out that way, things like that. And then, despite some of that stuff, both teams that I ended up going to were such a blessing for me. And we always we didn't know. I was, at one point I was 100, I was thinking that we'd be in Ottawa, and I was good with it. And things changed, and we got to the point where I had to make a decision. And Nashville was a place that always was kind of in the back of my mind if we kind of got to that point. So definitely, I would never say that while I was playing for those teams I was thinking about this, because I wasn't. I mean, that's not fair to the organization or my teammates. And I loved playing both places so much that it was easy to just focus on that. But definitely, this was something that we had wanted at periods of time throughout the last 3 years. And for it to now, end up this way is special for us for sure.
Matt,
this is Steve McGarvey from the Associated Press. I was just wondering, how much consideration did you give to returning to Columbus when you were going through the process, and just what's it been like this last 24 hours just to kind of see how that team's kind of dismantled so quickly after what y'all were able to do in the playoffs?
Yeah, I definitely gave it some thought. I gave it a lot of thought. The guys there are outstanding group of people and players. The organization was outstanding. The management, same thing. I have a ton of respect. Coaching staff, I have a ton of respect for everybody there, and it was definitely not an easy decision to move on. I sent text to a good-sized amount of teammates from there, just thanking them because I felt like I grew so close to them so quickly. So unfortunately, part of the business is sometimes moving on from friends and people you respect a lot and like a lot. And, you got your family involved in that and everything. So it was definitely not an easy decision to leave Columbus. And we definitely looked at it throughout the entire process and had them in mind. So at the end of the day, though, Nashville just was, it seems like the perfect fit for us. And, now I want to, put that into action, and hopefully that all comes to fruition, and we reach the ultimate goal in the next, hopefully a few years.
Matt, Chase McDavid 102.5 the game. It's no secret that the Predators were looking to boost the power play. What kind of skill set can you bring to that unit?
I think for me, I've played all different positions on the power play. I've played, I like to play the half wall. But I've also played net front, and I enjoy playing there as well. And I've had success there. I played there throughout my time in Columbus in front of the net, and I played there a few years ago for Patrick Waugh, and played a bit there in Ottawa. And and then the rest of the time I've been on the half wall on either side. So I think that's one thing I can do is I can definitely play a number of positions on the power play, and hopefully that helps, add another element. And I know that regardless if I was on the team or not, I know the power play would be, better this year for the Predators because they have so much talent. And power play is a contagious thing. When things are going really well, it rolls really seamlessly and easy. And when they're going poorly, it's a snowball effect the other way. So I'm excited to get to work with that. And, it's going to be that's such a huge part of the game now. I mean, you got to score on the power play, especially in playoffs. A lot of our success with Columbus this year, we did a lot of damage on the power play, and it's really important to have that going. And I know that's a priority for the coaching staff and for our team as a group. So I'm sure guys are going to be sick of answering. I've been asked that as much as anything already, and so I'm sure the guys that were there last year got asked about it a lot. And I'm sure guys will want to put all that skepticism to bed. So It'll be fun to get to work on that.
John Glennon again.
Matt, what's the story? I guess we heard about it over the years, a time or two, of the property I believe that you had already bought in Nashville. Where did that come from, and kind of what's the status of it now?
Yeah, so one of my best buddies plays drums for Thomas Rhett, and he's from up here actually, and he bought a place in the same area. Actually, he's my next door neighbor, and he basically told us about it. And I was like, at the time, I had no idea if I'd ever be a Nashville Predator. I just didn't know. I was playing for the Senators. I was really happy last summer. And, I was committed to that at the time. And, it was not something that was, had any foreshadowing or anything, to be honest with you. It was just an investment opportunity. I felt like it was a good chance to get in that market down there, and did some research on it. And our plan is to use that as a rental property down there. I did my bachelor party in Nashville a few years back, and you can do pretty well on that kind of thing. So just after us staying at an Airbnb, and so that's kind of the plan with that, whether it's a long-term rental or short-term or whatever. So we're still kind of ironing things out and getting that up and going. But there was definitely. I can't believe that came out, to be honest. I guess some people have nothing better to do than dig through your name and in properties throughout cities and for different athletes, I guess. I don't know. It was kind of crazy when I saw that come out at the deadline, but that's the plan with that. Definitely wasn't, we're never intended to live there. But it's nice right now. It's nice to have a place there, because when we come down, likely next week, we'll be able to stay there.
There he is, Matt Duchene, the newest Nashville Predator, who, as you heard, owns property in the area. So maybe some foreshadowing, if you will. So you heard him talk about what he can bring to the table to the Predators. In terms of the power play, and boy, they need it. The Preds had the worst power play in the NHL last season. They went 0 for 16 in their 6-game playoff series loss to the Dallas Stars, so they need some scoring, and they need a boost from the second lines on down, and Duchene should certainly provide a boost for that. So Matt Duchene is in the fold. He is a Nashville Predator. We'll see what David Poile does with the rest of NHL free agency, although where they are cap-wise, probably not a whole lot of big major moves, maybe some minor moves here and there. And you heard Robbie Stanley from NHL.com suggest that maybe there could be some trades involving guys like Kyle Turris, maybe Nick Bonino. So we shall see. We're going to take another break, come back, and take your phone calls as well. What do you think of the Matt Duchene signing? And where do you see the Preds going next year? Always good to have phone calls on this show. We love them. We'll be back right after this.